Hello and welcome back to REV Endurance Sports. And today, I want to talk about something that I realized I haven't talked about much since I've gotten back from my 1,200 kilometer event. Now, Tommy and John and I did a podcast of just two guys talking, but I've got to do some editing, so that's not published yet. So I thought I'd shoot a quick video here, or today, or now. 1,200 kilometer event, 11,000 or so meters, or 750 miles with 36,500 feet of climbing. 4 days. First day 250-ish, next day 190 something, next day another 190, and then the fourth day was a recovery day. It felt like it anyway, 125 miles. And so a 200K. So 400K, 300, and then a 200K. So what I wanted to talk about is some of the things that Tommy and I experienced, and how, well, there's no way to prevent it. I mean, some of these things, they're just almost impossible to prevent. But the most common thing that people talk about is, saddle sores or that kind of stuff. Now, I did a different video on my saddle choice for the event, and it was a leather saddle. Hang on. So I went super old school with a leather saddle, and this thing was a dream come true. I was super comfortable underneath. Funny thing is, I chafed on top. It's like, what? So, you're putting the chamois cream underneath, and in fact, where I chafed was more up on top, but that's just hours and hours and hours and hours on the bike, right? So, but the undercarriage was good, right? No serious pressure pain or anything like that. Felt fine. I also wasn't overly tired because I kept my effort really low. I did nose breathing throughout the entire 750 miles. If I were to show you my power chart, you'd be like, wow, that guy is really weak. He's only doing 100 watts. Yes, because the least amount of wattage, you want to do the least amount of wattage to get around the course, right? Why waste watts when you don't need to? And the only time that I had, really high wattage was descending, because these descents were like pedal descents. It was like either because we had a tailwind going up, so now you had a headwind going down, and I'm pedaling hard to get down, to get any type of speed, to get like above 30 miles per hour. These descents were they were not descents, especially Poudre Canyon, Poudre, I think it's spelled. I mean, that was just pedaling and pedaling and pedaling, because you never picked up speed. And that's because the climb wasn't steep either, 2, 3, 4%, So nothing like we have here in San Diego, where you have 7, 8% grades that go on for miles, right? Or 6% grades that go on for 12 miles. I didn't see any of that on this course. That doesn't mean that those climbs don't exist. But then also getting back so late, so dehydrated, I packed a case of these, and Jesse goes through the trouble of ordering us, healthy, what do they call that, dolphin safe and all that other stuff, for sardines and salmon and stuff like that. And so I took a case with me, and literally this is all I had time for every night when Tommy and I got back. Shower, come out, Tommy goes in a shower, and then I'm taking a bowl with 2 cans of this, some olive oil, some mayo, mix it all up, 2 slices of sourdough, and just throw it on there. Like it was too much to put in a sandwich. So just pile it on top, take bites. And that was all. That was dinner. I mean, it was just, that's all we had time for. And then I had a liter bottle sitting at the side of the bed that I wanted to get through from the time I got back until I went to bed, but it wouldn't happen. So, and what I mean by getting back late, I'm talking like midnight or something like that, and then you got to wake up at 4:30, 5 o'clock again. Anyway, so I'm trying to get through this liter bottle, not getting through it, maybe halfway through, fall asleep, wake up in the middle of the night, drink the rest of it. So as far as recovery every night, wasn't really happening. That was my only solid meal for the entire day, because while on the bike, I just drank my REV Energy product all day, and I felt fine. I felt perfectly fueled, but when you get home and you're going to bed, it's nice to have a solid meal, a warm meal, a hot meal, but we didn't have that. Tommy had some stuff he was putting in the microwave. I went this route. But the good news is this was fast to eat. Right. Well, that dehydration over time, multiple days. Now, I brought my bathroom scale and I kept watching how my dehydration was impacting my body weight. And I tried to hydrate as much as possible during, but so I was staying at around 151-ish pounds. Remember, I'm not eating a lot of solid foods, right? So, and that's another problem. You get so dehydrated, you get constipated. Look, these are plain facts. People need to know this stuff. When you go out in these, 750 milers in 100-degree heat, this is what happens. So I didn't have that much of an issue, but I know that it's out there and I've had it in the past. All right. But that dehydration catches up to you. And then you start to rehydrate maybe the second to last day or the last day. You're like, I am really, really thirsty. So Tommy went from 165 to 177 pounds. Yeah. And then I went from like 149 up to like 158, 160. So you just start retaining all this water. Your body needs it to do its recovery phase, and you just start retaining and retaining and retaining. Now here's the thing, and I spoke about this on a comment in one of the other videos. Not only are we gaining all this water weight, but we have all this extra gear on our bikes that you wouldn't normally carry, right? And then, on top of all that, you have all the excess fluid weight. Hydration pack, extra bottles, extra stuff, because I would have a 2-liter hydration pack, then 2-liter bottles, 1 liter each, so that's 4 liters, plus whatever was on the bike, so another, I don't know, 1.5 liters. So you're carrying 5+ liters of fluids with you. That's another 10+ pounds. Yeah, so you're heavily loaded going up a climb. So if you look at our times from some of these climbs, you're like, God, these guys are weak. And we are. We are Cat 6 riders out on a 1200K brevet. So all that hydration or rehydration, and you're starting to swell through the event. And Tommy, on his way home, he said his legs, or by the time he got home, I think he said his legs were swollen. Now, I've had this happen to me before. In 2007 was the worst of it. 2007, I did the Furnace Creek 508 on a fixed gear. So that means no coasting, right? You don't take your feet out of the pedals. That's against the rules. But you're climbing 35,000 feet and you have to descend as well. The one in particular, I mean, there's tons of mountains on this course, but one of them is a 13-mile climb up Town Pass and a 17-mile descent. You're just battling the whole time. Of course, you got breaks, but on that event, I literally ballooned. My skin was hurting because it was so stretched from all of the fluid retention that I had. And then if anyone's watched Austin Powers, when he comes out of his hibernation and he urinates for how long? Okay, that's Tommy and I the first 2 days, right? So you're driving back. And so you're having to pull over a lot more often. And then you get home and you're still doing it. So for about 2 days of the recovery phase, you're urinating like literally nonstop is what it feels like, right? Oh God, in the bathroom again. And it's super clear as it comes out. Then also, I've had this before. I had this at Paris Press Paris, another 1200K, where my pinkies and, going, sometimes my middle finger as well, going up, they feel numb or they have the tingling sensation. This time was a little different because I didn't get it on both hands. Typically, I get a little bit. But this time, I didn't get the tingling. But what I got was, see this right here? I couldn't do this a few days ago. I could not hold this can with my index finger and my thumb. I just didn't have any pressure. My middle finger was still okay. So I didn't have that dexterity. In fact, at one of the controls, I couldn't zip my jersey back up. I was standing in front of Tommy like, I can't zip. He almost had to help me, but I was determined that I was going to get it. But the zipper was on my left side, being a jersey manufactured in Europe. I couldn't hold it to put the other end in to pull up. I just couldn't. So I kept trying different things and whatever. I finally got it, but it was way longer than it needed to be. And the reason I'm making this video now is because I'm working on a bike and I still don't have that strength, that finger strength. Now it makes sense because I'm right-handed. Left hand pretty much stays on the bar almost always, unless I'm riding no-handed. So left hand on the bar, I reach for my bottle with my right hand. I do filming with my right hand. I do everything with my right hand while the left hand is still on the bar. So that this hand gets very little reprieve from being on the bar. During the event, so this was day three, because I'm a mechanical rim brake guy, my left hand, I couldn't do the sweep on the big lever for the big ring. So I'm riding like this, grab it with this hand, pull over, and that's how I would get to the big ring. And all of this is because I have not been doing the mileage. I've not been doing the work that's required. I did a 200K in January, but I did not do the 300K, the 400K, the 600K before signing up for a 1200K because I just wanted to ride with Tommy and I was like, well, forget it. I'll just get through it, which I did. And I believe there was like 30% DNF rate, but I got through it. And, without any real issues except just the heat. The heat was over 100 every day with the ground temperature, all that stuff. So yeah, what do you get when you do these endurance events? You get a chafed undercarriage. You might get some numb hands, neck, shoulder pain. I was kind of okay. Triceps, a little bit. But again, I have a racer's position on my bike. I ride a Road Logic, which is basically a specialized tarmac geometry, which is a race bike. I'm not a fan of tall head tubes. I'm not a fan of endurance geometry. So I'm going to use my Road Logic. Or even, if it's a flatter course, an aero, I've got a Bianchi XR4. Like 2 years ago, I think it was PBP year, there was a 300K here in Borrego Springs, and I think it only had like 3,000 feet of climbing. So I rode my Bianchi XR4, another race geometry bike. But yeah, numb hands, numb bottom, neck and shoulder pain, triceps, but all of that was kind of okay. But just the hand numbness. Today is 1 July. The event ended on June 22nd. So what is that, like 8 days? 9 days? And I still don't have full on clamping ability with my left hand. Right hand is fine, thank God, because, I'm a mechanic and I need to have, grip. But yeah, pretty interesting stuff that your body goes through, but you come out of it. Body knows how to heal itself. You don't have to do anything special. Just carry on about your business. Get plenty of sleep maybe on your way when you come home. And the rehydration as well. I was eating a lot when I first got back, but everything's kind of settled down now. I'm back to my typical routine, which is I don't eat breakfast or lunch. I only eat one meal a day when I get home, whatever time that is. So the whole time I'm at the shop, I may have coffee, and that's about it. If I train in the mornings, because I try to train in the mornings before opening up the shop, depending on the length of that ride, I also may not have anything, any nutrition. If it's 2 hours or less, I usually don't have anything. If it's 2 hours or more, then I do start drinking some carbs. And then I get back, and then I have a quick can of something just so I can get right to work. Because if you play, you got to pay. You'll end up spending some more time. But yeah, just thought I would cover that. If I'm rambling, hey, this is what my channel's about. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know what this is all about. Anyway, more stuff to come from the 1200K. I still need to do the editing for the video of day 2, day 3, and day 4. Just haven't had the time. Building bikes, servicing bikes, the life of a bike shop owner. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you know when I've posted another video. And we will see you up the road.